Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Jason Tucker. This is WPblab. It's Thursday. It's 7:35-ish, and we are going to be talking about using WordPress in times of need. I'm here with Bridget, the one that was in times of need, and we wanted to kind of go over some of the things that were happening here and stuff that was happening within our community, as well as things that were happening with Bridget herself, and kind of just get an idea of what transpired after the facts, after we heard about the things that were going on in Bridget's life. So let's and I got dogs barking in the background. Awesome.
I could one up you if the cat starts meowing again downstairs. You will hear
loud, huh?
the Cujo dog.
Oh man. So So I don't really know. I was thinking about this on my drive-in from work. How I should go about talking about this without me myself crying or getting you to start crying. So I know I got mine right here.
I can compartmentalize.
Yeah.
Do you want me to just tell you what happened?
Yeah, tell us what happened a little bit, and then we can kind of go from there.
So my husband has a history of diabetes, and 2 years ago he started dialysis because he was in stage 4 kidney failure. So he was in hemodialysis, which is a kind where they filter out your blood, and then they realized he still retains some kidney function, i.e. you make urine. Fun facts. When you stop making urine, it's bad because that's how you filter out all the toxins in your body. And so he was able to do peritoneal dialysis, which works by osmosis. So you go on a machine every day. They insert a catheter that has kind of a hookup, and it fills up your abdomen, which is your peritoneal cavity, with a dextrose solution. The percentage depends on your prescription. He was mostly on the yellow box, which is 1.25, and the green, which is 2.25. It could go up. So the higher percentage of dextrose you have, the more that's going to pull fluid out. So dialysis is acting as your kidneys. So not only you're dealing with fluid, because if you have too much fluid, then you have what happened to us earlier this month, which I'll tell you. And then you're dealing with the toxins, your blood urea nitrate, BUN numbers, your creatinine, which is a protein, and all these things that don't happen because your kidneys aren't working. So I explained it to my sister-in-law like this. Mercier is more complicated than a saltwater fish tank. There's so much happening.
Yeah.
He's like his own ecosystem. And we have a sense of humor in my family. So me and my sister-in-law we just busted up laughing because it's really true. What one person is going through, you can't just copy and paste that onto somebody else,
Right.
Because everybody's body is doing a different pH and a different, whole situation. Everybody has a certain amount of. And he was, an amazing person. He had a history of being an athlete. His whole family were athletes. They competitively swam. He held records at ASU, Go Sun Devils, for swimming and butterfly and something else, like the 60s or whatever. So for the people that don't know, I was married when I was 20 and he was 56. So it's not like I didn't think he would ever die. We knew he would die, although there were some times when I thought maybe I'd get in a car accident first.
Right.
And I know that the Blue Steel people felt that because after WordCamp last year, I was driving them all the top of the market, and I'm not used to people being with me, and I was so distracted by having fun and with these new friends that I ran a stop sign. We almost died. I mean, that's how I bonded with Adam Fout, because he's the tallest, so he had to sit in the front because it's a Fiesta. It's the rental car you don't want.
Oh my God.
And Heather, we couldn't find Heather's. It was me and Heather and Frank and Adam. And we couldn't find Heather's seatbelt, so Heather didn't have a seatbelt.
Wow.
You're doing the mom thing.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, little funny interjection there. Yeah, we did think. I'm not like I couldn't be an Uber driver. I'd be the worst Uber driver.
So we'll take that off of the list.
Yeah, Carol was there. Carol and Frank was making fun of me for printing out the map, but he's 20 and he never saw a map printed out in his whole life. So. But anyway, yeah, we knew that would happen, and so when you have diabetes, even if it's really managed, and he was a star patient, he was so disciplined. That's what I mean about the athletic background. He was the star patient at his dialysis center, and he was helping other people and encouraging them, because a lot of people, when they get, that's why kidney donation is so important. Right. And my friend Amy Donahue is in the process of finishing her documentary called Social Media Stole My Kidney, because she literally gave a kidney because of a tweet. I mean, if there's any times where you could say there are real people on the other end of Twitter, this is just another. I mean, WordPress community, like, you guys are amazing, but it's not just that, right? Like last week, I found the WordPress community before I knew the software, because of Twitter and the relationships that you make with people. And so we had this, passion, and we understood about being disciplined and all of that. Well, kidney disease is kidney disease, and you don't live without kidneys. So anyway, if you get sick from something else, it can throw everything off. And at the beginning of May, he got a sinus infection, because welcome to Southern California and allergies. And it just didn't go away. And so he was eating too much soup, and because his throat hurt, and then his fluid was off. When your fluid gets off and you retain too much fluid, then your heart has to work harder. And then fluid will build up in your lungs, and then your heart doesn't work as much either. So I took him to the emergency room on the 6th of May. He was there 4 days. He had pneumonia. They got all of the water off, but his heart was really damaged, and it went down to 40%. And dialysis is very hard on your heart, because it's just, your heart works by electricity, so it needs all those electrolytes to be perfectly in balance. And what happened earlier 3 weeks ago was irreversible damage to his heart. And he was getting better, but what had happened was, when you're on dialysis, you don't make as much, well, I shouldn't say that, because that's not true. When you make red blood cells in your bone marrow, they live for about 120 days, if memory serves correctly. But for him, they only lived for 90 or 60. So his blood volume dropped as a complication from the first hospital visit this month to 7, and it's supposed to be about 14. So that was right at the border. And when you're a dialysis patient, you see your nurse every single week, or once a month, or every other. It depends on what's happening with you, and you see your nephrologist. So we were there this last Thursday, and his BUN was 96. It's supposed to be 14. His creatinine was 14. It's supposed to be 1.4. And his hemoglobin was 7, and it was supposed to be, they wanted over 10. They really wanted over 10.
Yeah.
And so, because these are the things that bring oxygen to your heart, to your brain, and but they're on the border, because he wasn't so, they have to make these decisions. Like, with your low platelets, they can't just put a catheter in to do hemodialysis. They put it into your heart. And in order to do that, it's basically heart. It's not open heart surgery, but it's heart surgery, because the catheter goes directly to your heart. So they thought if they rushed him on Thursday that he would bleed out, and he probably would have, because platelets is what makes your blood stick and clot, and that's why people donate platelets. There's a lot of people that donate platelets.
Yeah.
So on Saturday, things got really bad, and I was going to go to SMMOC. I was about to take a shower, and I go, do you need me to stay here? And he said, I need you to stay, because he's not that person, right? So I just thought, okay, well, I'm here. I'll just work on my slides for my presentation or whatever. You know, it's in the other room. And it just went down, down, down to the point where he fell. And he's not a person who ever needed a walker. You know, like people were looking at like, why don't you have a walker? He didn't need a walker. He was lapping me.
Yeah.
it just, you know, it just went so down so fast. So I actually had to call 911 for the first time in my life.
Wow.
And we live upstairs, so I guess they have a stair chair, and like 6 people were in here, 6 big giant fire people. It's not that big of an apartment. It was just, you know, it was hard, but you know, it had to be done. And so I followed them to Saddleback, and they said his blood volume had gone from 7 2 days before to 5. Somehow he lost 2 units of blood. They had to give him 4 units of blood, and then the nephrologist on staff told me that the enzyme said he had a heart attack, like whatever the enzyme was. Because I was like, what are you talking about? He's not a heart patient. He's a kidney patient. He's a renal patient. Like, I was using all their terms. Like, you must be thinking something else. Like, he doesn't have a history of heart problems. And then she just sat there at her computer and showed me, no, here's his echo, blah, 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 and it's 40%. And I'm just sitting there. It's 10 o'clock at night. I go to sleep early. Like, Blab really, like, kind of to test my limits, you know.
We have been keeping you up late.
Last week, I was like trying not to like visually yawn on the show.
Say, I gotta go to bed. Come on.
I'm like so tired. That was an awesome show.
It was an awesome show.
But so your brain is trying to understand and grasp these facts, and you're still going, what the hell is going on? Like all day Saturday, I was saying, what the hell is going on? What is wrong with you? I don't like this. You know, they told me certain things to watch for, which was bleeding, had blood in his stool. That's it, 911.
Right.
So they said he had a heart attack. Whatever the enzyme was, all you have to do is have a 1, and that's a heart attack, and his was 32.
Oh, wow.
So they started saying, what are your plans? What do you mean, what are my plans? Well, what do you want us to do for him? I want you to keep him alive. What is this question?
Sure.
Okay, so I feel like people, like my mom was like, you shouldn't be on Blab tonight. It's not appropriate. No, I feel like people need to know. I've never had anybody in my family die. My grandmother is 96 years old. I was, even though I knew my husband would die eventually, he was slapping me on everything. You know, we were just, when we were scouting out WordCamp, we went to Point Loma and stuff. We went up to that lighthouse. He did that. He was walking faster than me. That was April 6th, you know? I mean, that's kind of a hill for anybody that's been to Point Loma. That's no small thing. It's not like, you know, it's not like you just get out of your car and there's a lighthouse. It's kind of a pain, you know? But anyway, oh, so they were like, what are your plans? What do you want to do? What if his heart stops? I'm like, start it again. Why are you asking me this question? Like it was just so bizarre because it felt wrong. It felt, the worst part was they said, your husband had a heart event. What the F does that mean?
Yeah.
What's a heart event? He has AFib. So his heart events all the time. He's had a heart event since he was 14
Your heart
years old.
is eventing the entire time you're doing all of this.
It's such a stupid term. And you know, because he has a history of I have been in the hospital with him so many times. Like, I know shift change. I know when to come and when not to come. I know when the doctors do the rounds. Like, my sister says, oh, you don't need any help. You're an old pro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, but these questions did not make sense to me, you know? And so I said, oh, I want you to keep him alive. And then they were saying, they said, you know, if he goes on hemodialysis, hemo is blood. So it's the kind with the catheter. It's more intense. It's 3 times a week, 5 hours a day. And it really is hard on your body. You have to be really strict about your diet. When
The
you're doing it
job.
every day, then it's like peeing, it's more regular.
Right.
I'm sorry. This is like the medical WPblab. But
It's okay.
this is what,
None of us are medical people. So Bridget might as well be a doctor at this point.
That's what everybody said. I go, no, I don't want to. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I did not understand that. I didn't expect it, because when you're a renal patient, it's all about the kidneys, and it's about the kidney doctor and whatever they said. But this was a nephrologist, not his, because it's Memorial Day weekend, so Dr. Lee wasn't here. Right. But she was great. No, she was really compassionate and stuff. But because I wasn't processing it, I'm like, what are the words coming out of your mouth? Can I have the subtitles? I need to click on those and Google them. I need to touch this, right? It just didn't sound right, And I'm like, he just came out of the hospital. He was just here, and he was fine. What are you talking about? He's not a heart patient. I just kept what? And so, the guy, the ER doctor, whatever, said, your husband's heart is going crazy because it has a history of AFib, which is a irregular but speedy heart rate. And so it was worse. It was 140. It's supposed to be 90. It's going 140, 150, 120, 140. It doesn't have that. It doesn't have that sinus rhythm. It's just it's totally, messed up. And which is normally people live with it, they take medicine, but when it's in combination with other things, that's why it's so complicated, because your heart works by electrolytes, and that's all affected by your fluids and dialysis, And so they said, do you want to put him on a ventilator? So that I think that will help his heart, because he was breathing I'm like, yeah. What, do you want to put him on a ventilator? He goes, I can't answer that for you. I'm like, you're the one with $400,000 in student loans.
Right.
Why are you asking me this? The theme of the first 2 days, why are you asking me this question?
Crazy.
The other thing I found out is they were pushing advanced directives on me, which I thought was just a DNR, and it's not.
Right.
So anybody watching, my mom corrected me. Do you get it? Go to LegalZoom.com, figure it out with your person who's going to officiate it, and just get that done. Pay the $75 and be done with it.
Yep.
I didn't have one, but I didn't have anybody contesting me, so it didn't matter.
Right.
But but it's so scary. Do you have an advanced directive? Do you want an advanced directive? Would you like us to send you a social worker so that you can get it? No, I don't want you to put my husband down. What the hell is wrong with you people? Just get it fixed.
Right.
You're just what? The questions were so.
They were dry. It was just it was procedural. Right?
Yeah, and they have to ask it, and they were trying to be sensitive by saying heart event and what are your plans for his health care and all this stuff. Yeah. But it confused me because I didn't expect it. And so I said, yeah, put him on a ventilator. Well, that was the last time I ever talked to him, because they had to sedate you. They're sticking a thing down here.
Yeah.
You're sedated. Oh, yeah. So that was Saturday night, and he never woke up. So they were doing dialysis and everything. Things were getting better. They were better Sunday. They were better Monday. All those numbers I was saying were going down. Yep. But Monday, they took him off sedation, and he wasn't waking up. And they were like, we don't like this. I go, but there also is it the dialysis that would normally filter these things out. Oh, and his liver was in shock. So propofol goes through your liver. Nothing was filtering those chemicals out of your system either. So we were like, whatever, we're just there. I told his sisters, 2 of them live in Orange County, 2 live in Phoenix. So I called the one and said, you guys, the Phoenix needs to come here. I told there's so many people. I had to strategically communicate with people that would communicate with other people. Mm-hmm. There's just too many Willards.
Yeah.
And told his daughter and his son and granddaughter out of the country, and they still are. And normally I'm like, it's fine. Like, we've been through so many, like, one year they uncauterized or whatever, they did that like rotator thing on your arteries here, the carotid. They did Thanksgiving and Christmas 2 or 3 years ago. I mean, because I've been through a lot of hospital things. I'm like, he's fine, he's recovering, everything's fine, I don't need anything, I'm fine in the hospital. I like to be alone, actually, because I don't like to, when you're with, okay, so just between all of us,
all 34 of us,
and the internet, when I feel like when people come to visit you in the hospital, now I have to entertain you.
Oh,
and that's a crass way of saying it. But then, so the person is coming, and it's not that we're not well intended, but they're coming to support you, so they expect you to be supported.
Yep.
Sometimes it's too much. So like, I have some people that are in my close bucket, and they were there, like some really close people that I didn't feel like I had to talk. I could just sit there and be fine, because that's really hard, because you're just trying to figure out what the H is happening. But this time I said, you know what? Normally I keep everybody away. We're fine. Leave us alone. I said, no, his best friend, longer than I've been alive. No, you need to be concerned. Everybody that was really close to us, I said, you need to be concerned and you need to come. I don't know what is going on. I don't like it. I'm scared. Objectively looking at it, because I'm just trying to move. I move through time by chunks of time. I'm going to be there at 9. The doctors are going to be here between 9 and 11. There's going to be lunch. I'll go home and take my dogs out. It's quiet time between 2 and 4, so I'll come back at 4. Shift change at 7, so I'll be here until 8:30, till the nurse knows who I am. Make sure she'll call me if you got to be visible, right? Yeah. I'm the wife, not the daughter, obviously, because the age, I always say, wife. So I just was moving through it by these chunks of time, and things were getting better. And his sisters, went home, and not home, not to Phoenix, but the next day Tuesday. What day is today?
Today's Thursday.
Oh, Thursday.
Yeah.
I have makeup on, but I'm not all here. Tuesday morning, I was there at 8:30, and the nurse was like, oh, did the doctors call you last night? No. Did the nurse call you? No. Now I'm getting worried. Like, get to the point. Like, now you're kind of annoying. Like, don't start to say something and say, well, I can't really tell you. I would rather you not tell me.
This wasn't a fender bender here. There wasn't like, oh, my car's in the shop, and just to let you know, it's going to be an extra $100. It's not like that. Right.
Because
I'm totally on the right. Yeah, I get where you're coming from.
Going, what? And so then the ICU doctor came. He goes, can I talk to you outside?
Oh.
That's never good.
Right.
Either you're in trouble, right? Nobody come into my office. Shut the door.
Right.
Like that kind of come to Jesus conversation. I could see it on his face. And I was like, oh, man. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. My heart sank, because I already had a bad enough feeling to get his Phoenix people here.
Oh, yeah.
So he said, what are your goals for your husband's healthcare? What? Like these weird questions. What are your goals? Yeah. What do you mean? I want him to come home. And he just looked at me and said, he's not coming home. What? What do you mean he's not coming home? I thought we were doing... No, there's something wrong. He had a really bad fever last night. He's not waking up. I go, yeah, but they put him on sedation. They took him off. He's not waking up. Has a really high fever. We want to do a CAT scan, see if there's a brain bleed. And what do you want us to do if his heart stops? I go, what do you mean? Start it. He goes, it's at 20%. I go, oh, it's not going to be strong enough. Even if you restart it, it won't be strong enough.
So do you think that he was probably getting you to that by you walking down that path instead of him pushing you down the path? He's kind of like, okay, here's all the variables here, and start walking, and we'll discuss this as you get down that path.
Yeah, he was. That's a really
Yep.
good way to
It
put
happened
it,
to me. I mean,
actually,
that's
Jake.
what they did with when my grandmother passed away. It was the exact same thing.
Oh,
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Exact same thing. It was,
Um,
and it was like they just want you to realize that, like for her, we had to take her off life support. It was like she's brain dead. Her body is alive, but she's brain dead. So here's your options, and there's no options. It's like we're providing you options, so
yeah.
because you're human and I'm human, and we just need to provide each other options. But that's what it is.
It just threw us off because we didn't
Right.
expect it, and we didn't expect it
Yep.
12 hours before. So then he said, we're going to do a CAT scan. We're going to see what's going on in his abdomen. Maybe there's something wrong with his peritoneal dialysis thingamabob. And then we'll see if he has a brain bleed, because he lost that blood, and
Yep.
we don't know why. Because there's no, like, blood gush, like there's no blood. So it has to be internal, right? If you're losing blood and it's not coming outside, it has to be internal. So they took him for a CAT scan. I called my sister-in-law and I said, you guys need to get here, and you need to get here now. I just couldn't even talk.
Yeah.
I was hysterical. I was like, Penny. Like it's so funny when you can keep something inside of your body. You can keep the voice inside of your head. But once you have to make your vocal cords say the words, you're confronted with reality. Yeah. And so they got there. Monsieur was wheeled back from the CAT scan. Then another doctor came and took us into a consultation room. And he said, your husband's bowels are dead. Like, what does that mean?
And now we're getting weird technical.
He's
this
dying.
Isn't even technical anymore. It's just like weird. When you posted that, I had to start looking stuff up. You know what I mean? I'm like,
talk about Google food, right?
And I'm
Roy's like, what the heck? What is that even? And so I was at that point. I was just giving people whatever information I had. I just had the family, I had the strategic people on my phone. I would just type it to his daughter, and then I'd press till it said copy, and I'd go to the next person, paste, send, paste, send, paste, send, paste, send. Because I didn't want them to see on
that
Facebook
is the
first.
worst.
That is so
like
important.
You just got fired. There you go. It's the worst.
That is so. I made sure that I got the red receipt before anything went on Facebook. That's another thing I think I can't emphasize enough. I mean, it's impossible to tell everybody. And with one of my sister-in-laws, I was texting all the updates to you guys to the wrong number. And nobody ever said wrong number. So she sent me an email. She goes, Monsieur had a heart attack?
Crap. That was, right.
3 days later, and nobody said wrong number. And I'm sending like specific details, like Mercier had, blah, blah, blah. You don't know Mercier. Why don't you say wrong number, you dumbass? Like, I was so mad because she was mad at me. But I'm like, here they are on my phone. I'll show you. Hey. No. So that's my dog. It's super aggressive. It can't be boarded. He loves me though. He sleeps in my arms. He's my baby. He's my baby, nobody else. So anyway, they said that, and then he said his daughter needs to get here. She needs to get here right now, but I'm not waiting. We're putting her on morphine. You let us know when you want to remove life support. And I was like, what do you mean life support? He goes, he's on a ventilator. I go, right, that's life support. I'm like, yeah, but they didn't put that on him to keep him alive. They just did to take the stress out. I was still like arguing with the doctor. Like, what are you talking about? That's not why they did it. You don't understand. You're new. I've been here the whole time. Like, forget that your card says hospice on it, right? I know what I'm talking about. I just couldn't accept it. And he goes, no, you have to understand. This is what happens when your body shuts down. He's in sepsis. That's why he had the fever. That's why he had blood in his stool. He's dying. You have to let him go. So we all said our goodbyes. It was horrible, but also really fortunate too, because a lot of people don't have that chance. Not everybody, you don't always know when somebody's going to die. You're not always there. to see that happen. You don't always have 6 hours because he's so tenacious. We were laughing. I mean, the first hour we all crying. This is just how we are as a family, right? We were all, everybody had their chance to say goodbye. I was hysterical, crying. I mean, he's the love of my life. My entire adult life, I've been married to him. I don't even know what it's like to not be married to him. And so it was really hard. But I felt it was important for everybody to have a chance. We finally got a hold of his son who was overseas, and I said, can you call on the internet? Because of course there was no cell service in the hospital. I was only on the internet. I was on a free hotspot, which all you guys tell me not to be on, but I didn't care.
Still on my credit cards. I don't care. I just want to make this happen. Here, I'll just type them in for you.
I just couldn't. I have to have the phone, right? So he said, do you have WhatsApp? I'll call. And I did have it, like, for some weird reason. And so he called, and I put the phone by his ear, and he got a chance to say goodbye, and he prayed for us because his son is a pastor also. And like, no offense, everybody, but we're a Christian family. My husband was a pastor. We were in children's ministry, street ministry. I fell in love with him, working, total cliche, married my boss. And we worked together, and we were just partners in every way. And but I really felt that it was important to him that everybody got a chance. I didn't feel like I needed to be greedy with my grieving. And we just started laughing because his one sister used to be an ICU nurse, and I knew I needed to take my dogs out so I could have more time because he wasn't going. His heart rate was still like 85. Like, his numbers are going up. Like, how are you doing better? You tenacious old man, So I went home with my friend because they wouldn't let me drive alone, and took my dogs out, came back, and it took him 6 hours, and every single person that needed to say goodbye did, except for his granddaughter, which breaks all of our hearts because she was without internet overseas and didn't even know until yesterday. So we said goodbye at 6 o'clock, and I always told him, I'm not going to be one of those wives in the movies that like kiss their dead bodies' husbands. Like, I'm fine when you're sick and you're, sedated, and I'll lay over you and brush your hair and kiss you and tell you I love you and cry. As soon as you're dead, that's it. I'm done. That's just weird, and I'm not doing it. Dead bodies freak me out. So
well, and you get into the Christianity side of things, where it's like, well, there's your vessel, and you're not there anymore anyhow.
It's not there anymore. And but it was so quiet, and it was just peaceful. You just saw his heart go from 60, it went 60, 40, 20, 0. And then they turned off the monitor, and we just cried and hugged each other. And I was really lucky to have people, it's so, I've said this before, I have a really big heart for the isolated, because I was really isolated a lot in my life, and some of it was self-isolation, which is the worst, because I was trying to keep people away, but I wanted his sisters to be there, but they were so tender to me. Like, they weren't greedy with their grieving either. You know what I mean? I didn't know what to expect, because it's their brother. They started telling all these amazing childhood stories about, two of them would, in Phoenix, there's all these canals, and they would ride their bikes on the canals, so it's safer than the streets. And they'd go over to the cemetery and then ditch the younger two, because there's 5 siblings. So they were telling all these stories, and we were laughing and crying. And finally at 7 o'clock, we went home, and And, the nurse is giving me like, this bereavement brochure, which is pretty cool because it has like stuff. But I was like, what the eight? I don't even know. My husband is literally a genius. He would write the checks in the checkbook, but he knew exactly what the balance was at any time in his head.
Until you kept buying weird stuff on the internet.
That's why I was like,
what's this plugin, Bridget?
Whoa,
what's this theme?
What's
Stop! You gotta stop with this.
What's Canva?
you gotta stop with this blab thing because Jason keeps making you buy all these stupid things that cost $7.22.
So true. I was just going through all the expenses today. Postmatic, Canva, Hootsuite, Dropbox, Apple. I have Bulldog backup. I got Google. I'm not like totally into the website backup thing yet because I don't know how to restore my backup. But my photos are in lots of places. They're all over the place. Dropbox, Google Photos.
I had the lady from the accounting department come over and she says, Jason, I just want you to know your credit card has something that says delicious brains on it. What the heck is that?
Yeah, he was saying, you know what? He told me, you need to stop buying things that don't bring you money. This doesn't make any sense. But it's WordPress.
I need to WP migrate DB Pro my stuff, so delicious brains it is.
Oh yeah, manage WP $2.50 because I have 3 cents.
Oh my gosh.
He would just be like, what are you doing, Bridget? Stop just buying stuff on the internet. And then I was putting it in Mint today. And I was like, I wanted it to be categorized. I go, I don't know, what is this, SaaS? And there it comes up, SaaS. SaaS subscription.
Random crap, other random crap.
Yeah, so Jen Miller called me because she's tenacious like that. I think that's a good way of putting it. And
should we bring her in? All right,
bring her on.
Come on in, Jen.
And the Roy Boy 789. Yeah. That was a long story. I'm sorry.
Look, 23 people.
Oh my gosh, your hair looks so cute. I'll have to tell that to Roy now. I forgot how curly your hair is. Oh my gosh, your hair looks so cute.
Hi, Ryan. I was just wearing a hat too, but
nobody knows because you got curly hair. It's like covers a multitude of hair sins. That's what hats are for.
Well, if I grow it out, I get a Jew fro, so I have to.
Oh my god!
I'm waiting for Steve Zanget's Jew fro to come out right here on his beard.
Oh no, I totally get him the beard first. It's like
we need to do a give campaign for Norelco.
It's not Norelco. It's like, I don't know. I let it grow out long enough, and it's just straight Orthodox Jew beard.
Awesome. So we're getting into the story here where it was like, you're talking to Jen, you're...
TLDR, my husband died.
No. I mean, you know what I mean. I wanted to...
For those who are just joining the show.
That's right. That's right. That's like the weirdest part about this entire medium here is that it's like we should be doing commercial breaks and then like recapping the last 5 minutes of what just happened, and then a commercial break and then 5 minutes of what just happened.
It'd be talk radio. We'd have that financial advisor tells you not to play kissy face at the bank.
Hey folks, we're here with Jen Miller. Hey Jen, how are you doing today? Wow, what great hair you have.
Oh my god, you guys are making me laugh.
Of course, that's what we're here for. So,
So Jen Miller called me at 10 o'clock at night or some ridiculous time.
Wait, I have to say why I called. Okay, so unbeknownst
that was your segue.
Bridget, Am I echoing?
This whole thing echoes.
All right, good. We were all already working on this project to get this website going. And so we're all messaging each other back and forth. And suddenly someone's like, she's on social media. She's posting for the company.
Oh, yeah, I posted the Caldera forums because I knew it published that day. I scheduled it at 9:15. I didn't have time to post it on Facebook. That was a really good blog post.
And I was like, I'm calling her.
What's interesting is, I'm at the water park and I get a phone call, or no, I get a message from Jen. I think it was like Facebook or something. Have you looked at your social media? Blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh no. And we started planning like instantly. And I'm like, can I call you? Like, I'm at a water park right now. I don't even know if I have good cell service. Let's figure this out. And so we got on the phone, we started talking, we're just like, let's do something. But we got to make sure we're not doing duplicate efforts. And that's kind of what this entire topic comes into, is like, if you're going to do something like this, talk to anybody and everybody you can regarding it, except for the person, obviously, because you want to make sure that it just happens and they're not even thinking about it. But we wanted to like make this happen like yesterday. And we want to have this thing just like built instantly. But we don't want to be using, stuff that's off the shelf that's crappy that we can't do anything with, and we want to make sure that it just works and it's going to work well.
Oh, so let me tell you one thing really quick. So people don't know Give, real people, okay? Right. Not us. Right. Like, we're family right now.
Oh, GoFundMe was the word was going all over the place, right?
My girlfriend was driving home with me to the dogs, right? Because they wouldn't let me drive home alone. And I was like, I don't even know what I'm going to do. I don't even know if I have money for this. And she goes, don't worry, we'll set up a GoFundMe. I go, no way. I work for a company that builds software for donations. Like, I just tell real people software. They know what software is. They don't know what a plugin is. And she goes, what do you mean? I go, GoFundMe takes all your money. And you don't want that. You never, ever, ever use that. Get somebody to build you a WordPress website. And I work for them. You can't do that. And so that was what was so funny, is I was just in my car. I wasn't even on social media. And I go, don't even say GoFundMe to me one more time.
That's awesome.
She was like, hey, Bridget.
Well, and what Jason and I were worried about, because we knew that Bridget not only had a WordPress community, but she has a church community and friends and family. We were worried someone else would start something before.
Stupid GoFundMe.
Yeah. Before we could get something put together.
We don't want split efforts. Yeah, it needs to be one effort. And it was hard because it's like, we don't know any of your, like, we as a WordPress community don't know Bridget, the church person, Bridget, the normal person that's outside of all those things, Bridget who goes to the grocery store and talks to the lady at the grocery store. Like, none of these, we don't know any of this stuff.
No,
Bridget's mom, Bridget's grandma, Bridget's sister, like.
No.
Yeah, we don't have those connections. And so, by starting this, and really, I did call you just to keep you off social media, because that was.
She was so pissed. She goes, what in the hell are you doing on social media? Get off. And my other friend, Beth from Arizona, was saying, get off the internet, you dork. And I mean dork affectionately. That's what she said. But it's part of how I decompress every single night. It's part of my shutting down. So I can't just go to bed. I have to shut down, the TV's on. Then I get sort of sleepy. I take my pills to make me sleep, and then I turn on nature shows. So it's not so when she called, I go, oh, I better answer.
Yeah, well, Jen and I were just like, who are we going to talk to? How are we going to get this together? What are we going to do to make it work? And then I just opened up a little Facebook dialogue, a little chat, and was like, okay, let's grab this person, this person, this person, this person. Grab Roy, grab Matt, grab Devin. Oh, it's 9 o'clock, it's 8 o'clock. It's past 8. Where's Devin? So you have all those things. We're pulling all these people in here, and we're like, okay, let's see if we can make this happen. What do we got to do? And I just started pulling in all the people, all those names that I knew that you and I have discussed. Got all those people in there, and I said, okay, now what? And some of them were already working on. Oh, we're working on this. Like your guys over at over at WordPress were like, we're not quite sure what we're gonna do yet, but let's see what we can do to make it happen.
I don't even know what to. That is so insane to me. I mean, I was thinking about it today. Mercier and I fell in love working together, and we worked together for years. And even when we were in the church life, we were in children's ministry, we worked together for years. But when I had to go get a job in the real world, I was gone 11 hours a day. And we used to joke that I just came here to shower and change.
It was like going to Vegas.
Because of the stupid commute. Because the stupid commute, you know? It was just 11 hours gone like that. And I was thinking about it today, and I thought, what a gift. What a gift it's been the last 6 months being able to work at home and being able to be here and have that time that I didn't think I was going to have. I mean, not just May, because at first I was like, "Oh my God, I never would have survived May." It would have.
I call it divine
bad.
orchestration.
There's just no way. Yep. There's no way at other places that I've worked that I would have been able to survive May. Just logistically, emotionally, no way. But today I was thinking, what a gift I got. I mean, obviously it's a great job and I love those guys and they're amazing. But the first thing I thought of, what a gift I got extra time a lot of people don't get, you know? And then just the fact that I don't know. I mean, that people that don't even know Mercier, that barely know me, would do that. There's just no words. Like, you guys don't even know me. You don't even know. I mean, you do, but you're not like my main people, you know? And I never.
Yeah.
it just blew me away. It wasn't even some piece of crap Aveda or 2010. Like, let's just get this thing going. It's beautiful. I couldn't have done anything better myself. I couldn't have written it better. I couldn't have chosen better pictures. I was reading it to my family and they were like, it's like they knew you.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? This is why it's good to be an open person on social media.
Yeah.
Because you are letting people know you. And then they can be there for you. And this is what I was talking about with the isolation. And it really hit me when I watched WP Crowd about mental health. Because for me, it was good for me to be home alone with my husband. I needed that. I didn't know I needed it. But I realize now that I did. And, but being at home by yourself, it's isolating. And isolation is never a good thing, ever. So, I'm so thankful. I feel like I shouldn't say that I write for a living because I have no words, you know? Saying thank you seems so woefully inadequate. Everybody that I've talked to, my primary circles or whatever you want to say, my family, they're so blown away. And not only that, you guys built the infrastructure so that they could help. And they are. And they know how. And one of my friends says, what's PayPal? Is this secure?
Well, it is PayPal. But so did you answer that?
I said, it's totally secure. Don't worry about it. It's a payment gateway. What's a payment gateway?
It has a lock in the corner. Just
I go, you know how like when you go to the store and you swipe your card? It's like that, but it's online. Oh, because it didn't let me log out, so I don't know what happened to my credit card. I didn't know about that. It kind of freaked me out. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, Jen,
Yeah.
called me.
Yeah.
That's your segue.
Well, Jen called you like 1,000 hours later.
Right. We'd already been hard at work.
Yeah,
Really?
you post a message that says this is this really bad thing happens, and we go, oh, and then get Jen, get all these people on here, get Roy. Jen's trying to figure out which domain name to buy. I'm throwing in a bunch of crazy names. Roy's throwing in some stuff. Matt's throwing in some stuff. Everybody's throwing in all this stuff, and we didn't want too many cooks in the kitchen, so we kind of went like, okay, well, this person knows how to write English. This person knows how to do this. This person knows how to write that. This person, we got all the right players in there. I didn't want too many people trying to code this thing up.
Who we were,
and so
that was
who we were missing was Bridget, the whole time. That would have been,
oh, absolutely.
We should ask Bridget. No, we shouldn't ask Bridget. We should ask Bridget. No, don't ask Bridget.
If Bridget was there, it would have been like the whole domain thing was a good 15, 20 minutes of us trying to figure out which domain name to pick. It was totally just useless conversation.
Are you trying to tell me Bridgetable was taken?
It's a bridge and a table. No joke. Bridge, table. It's not Bridgetable. It's bridge and table.
Oh my gosh!
We could have got you bridgetable.limo or something like that, and that would have been pretty awesome.
That was just a joke. I think you really tried to get that domain.
Bridgetable, we couldn't.
God.
Yeah.
You guys are the best
we thought it was
ever.
a handful of domains and just couldn't figure it out. And then we were like, how do we build it? And then that was a whole nother conversation. That was just...
Says the front-end developer.
Roy's like, Angular!
Of course. Who was voting for the REST API?
I'm telling you, I built the whole thing in 5 minutes, and then Matt was like, Beaver Builder. And I'm like, oh.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So we get to the point where we're like, okay, let's build this thing. So we build it with, I can't remember.
We love you,
what was the name of the theme? I don't remember the name of the theme, but we built it with one thing. And he's like, I'm not too happy with this. And it's done. The whole site's done. It's done.
Yes.
It's 100% done. And then he's like, I'm not happy with this. Let's build it with Beaver Builder. And then child theme. Yeah, child theme, this and that, Beaver Builder. Roy's I already built the site 9 times now. I don't know what's going on with you guys, but I'm going to start using other languages now just to see if I can do it. Hey, I built it in Python. Check it out. It's pretty cool.
But nobody tried to revise the content.
No.
Oh,
No.
yeah.
None of these people can string words together, but you can. And so that's why I was like, perfect.
When I started getting because I was getting emails and dinging on my phone. I mean, I used to send invoices from PayPal, so that's one of the push notifications I actually get. What the hell is happening on my phone? Oh, Jen, I didn't tell you that, so you'd send me money. And then all of a sudden, I keep seeing all this stuff happening, and I was like, what the heck? And then I was like, first I thought she just privately PayPal'd me or whatever, you could do.
Right.
I didn't realize there was a website. And then I was like, oh my gosh, Jen, why did you build this? Because I know her writing, so I knew that was her. And all the stuff I had told her was in there. Except the hashtag Bridgeable. That made me laugh so hard I was snorting. That's the best inside joke that ever happened. Except for Hi Roy and Vasquez Facts or whatever, the Chuck Norris. Did you see that yesterday? That was hilarious. That was another time where I just topped on Twitter and I just laughed so hard I cried. Alex Vasquez, the Chuck Norris jokes.
Yeah, Vasquez Facts. That was Nick Adams
so funny.
From WP Crowd. He created that. You can
that
go to
was so funny.
We were happy that
I'm looking through the chat here. What's funny, and this is what happens when you know people online, and that's it. None of us have your street address. We don't know where you live.
Because that dog, Cujo.
0. We have no idea where you live. So we're like, what's your street address? Oh, we found a P.O. box. Okay, cool. Hey, I'm gonna start looking through tax records. It's what are we gonna do to get this figured out here? I'm gonna go to backgroundcheck.com real quick here and figure out where she's at.
Yeah,
Nice.
because SMMOC lady asked me for
I
it.
got it, Jason. I
Classy.
finally got it today.
And I'm like, oh, okay, you got to let people help.
Yeah.
Like, after she told me, she goes, we did it because we didn't want to ask you because you would say no. And I know you would have, and I would have. But it's good I didn't. And so I go, and that's when I realized you have to let people help you. That's how they process through the event too. See, that's what's so important about community. I've been thinking about my WordPress story a lot, especially after Russ was asking me to speak and stuff. I don't even know if I can, right? I mean, now I don't know if I can leave the stinky butt dogs, but like I would start to think about it and I would just cry every single time because I was in such a bad situation, a really bad situation. And it's only because of the community that I met that I was rescued, and I'm not using that lightly. And so I feel like since we've had Blab and we've gotten to know people better, and I feel like in a lot of ways we've become the meetup for people that don't have meetups. We are totally spoiled here. Orange County now has 4 WordPress meetups. 4, right? General, design, developer, and the women. We have 4 meetups. You know, not everybody has 4 meetups. Not everybody has any meetup near them. You know, one of the shows Pippin was on said he's not even near a meetup. You know, Pippin from Pippin Plugins. Pippin, you know, like the guy that everybody adores has no meetup. You know, and it's really important to be part of a community, not just. And so I feel like it's more than just the oxygen that holds in the air. It's those actual relationships, and I just really have a heart for the isolated, and so we've gotten some insight because of the way this show is formatted, with people hopping on and off in the chat, and I feel like that I'm not an outsider looking in. You know, I feel like I'm part of the welcoming committee. You know, I feel like I'm like, yeah, you're part of us. You know, but I still, because I'm so new, okay. I'm just gonna tell you guys, since we have this open and honest relationship, I didn't know if I would even have the money to cremate my husband, and I didn't know where it was going to come from, because we've always been on the broke side of broke. It's just our life, and we live by faith, and I'm better off than I've ever been in my entire life working with my guys. It's the best job I've ever had in my entire life, but still, who has $1,000 lying around or whatever? I don't. Like the last time I had it, that dog got sick and almost died, and that was $1,600. That was my whole savings. But that's my child. I had to save my dog. That happened right after I got this job too. I was able to take care of my dog, who needs a shot every 25 days to stay alive. I can't even tell you what a huge godsend being part of this community has been, literally in the last 6 months, not to mention just going backward 3 or 4 years. And when I woke up and there was $1,300 in PayPal, I wept like a 13-year-old girl whose boyfriend just dumped her. Just crocodile tears. I could not control. I was getting dehydrated. I could not control the tears, and it was a mix of happiness and relief and joy and feeling like when you don't have. we don't have children. I miscarried in 2004. When your spouse when your parents die, you have your siblings, you have the other sibling. When your spouse dies, you have your children. We don't have children. So I didn't know if I would have that infrastructure, that family. And then I was telling Jen, it's funny because I was watching Blue Planet. I told you I watched nature to go to sleep. And I must always fall asleep during this episode because I never remembered it. That coral is an animal. Sorry, I'm a teacher. I can't. You have to see that. Like, you remember me telling you this story, right, Jen, about coral? So coral is an animal, which I didn't realize, that has algae in it. So it's an animal and a plant.
Absolutely.
And so it needs to be lifted up so that the sun can nourish it, right? Because photosynthesis, right? It's like a 6th grade science or whatever. But I didn't know that. I always saw coral sculptures. I just thought it was like some kind of mineral formation, like staglites and blah, blah, blights, in caves, like just mineral dripping down. I didn't realize that the actual animal was making this limestone support system for itself, right? That's what the coral reef is. It's being built up. If you want to see it, watch the Coral Reef episode of Blue Planet streaming on Netflix. And so I'm watching this. I'm up at 2:00 in the morning because I couldn't sleep. And I'm watching this and I'm going, that is amazing. That is so amazing. And then I wake up and I'm talking to Jen and I go, you guys were my coral reef. You in the middle of the night, because the coral builds in the middle of the night because they want to be there for the sun. They want to be ready for the sun. So it's totally faced the sun so photosynthesis can happen. And I said, you guys were that coral reef working all through the wee hours of the night so that I would be totally lifted up and facing the sun and okay the next morning. That's what the WordPress community was to me. And it was so funny because I saw that while you guys were doing it. And it just became this amazing visual to me. And I felt like so much stronger because I knew that you guys were here. And it didn't feel that real to me. And it's not that, you have to set up a give campaign to make it feel real, but just because I'm so new, I expected the church people to do that. I expected my family to do that. And my super close friends I know for 20 years. I didn't expect my Blab friends. Yep. It was the most amazing thing. And Jen and I feel a little terrible. You want me to tell them? We both said to each other, wouldn't this be the best good story?
During this entire time, we were even talking about that. Because Roy was like, is she going to have to see the chat at some point? And I'm like,
I'm a writer.
It's going to be hilarious when she does, because half the time we were fighting about all sorts of stupid things, because this is what nerds do, is we get all excited about the technology that's being used. This is true. But what I will tell you is this may be funnier to you than it is to us, since you work with these guys. But you have Matt, who totally built the site and got that part of it going. The first initial part of it. Then he rebuilt the entire thing, and then he went to bed, and then Devin stayed up, and Devin rebuilt the entire thing. So the coral layer, if you want to use that analogy, was coral, and then the Devin comes in and goes, it's like Matt, Devin, and at the end of it, we wake up, and then Roy's like, I could have done this in Angular. What the heck's your guys' issue? And then it's like, oh, it finally looks good, and we're like, oh, thank goodness, finally.
No, Jason. So I was telling Jen what happens when two different species of coral get too close to each other. I literally told her this. They extrude their guts onto the next one and totally destroy it.
Oh my gosh.
That's a perfect analogy for
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
I would have paid money to watch that. That is so cute and funny at the same time.
That's hilarious.
I think the best part, I think just the best part of that conversation was the fact that we know, like, Bridget online and, you know, in person, and we know that Bridget's always laughing and stuff, so, like, I never felt bad laughing about stuff as we were chatting. Like, I never was like, oh, man, this is, you know, like, this is inappropriate.
All of it was inappropriate, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, then you guys fit in the Willard family. Welcome to my world, because that's what we do.
Like,
we laugh and we
like
cry.
you have to see the chat, I think, at some point, because there was like a lot of turmoil over like domain name and that who's gonna host it.
Are you guys
still
friends though? Or are you good?
Oh yeah. And then we were tracking like as it was growing, which is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, we're
so, like, you know, like honestly, it was like probably the most profitable business I've ever created in like 8 hours. Like, it was just insane. Like, and it was cool watching this, like, everybody come in. And then, like, when I don't even know who Devin or Matt put up the notes page, that was really cool to watch. And fun fact for everyone watching, if you ever need a collection of your own pictures categorized and stocked properly, Jason is your man. Because, like, we're like, Jason, get the pictures. And then, like, 2 minutes later, there was,
Jason's
like,
amazing.
5 folders in Dropbox, categorized by who's in them, renamed properly. And it was just like, all right, we needed, like, 5 pictures for the website. But, okay, here's, like, 150.
Well, I had my Guru Sophie's page, and I saw a lot of those pictures on there. So when you're organized, you make it easy for people to
It's
go
true. I stalked the heck out of you in like a matter of minutes. It's pretty awesome.
And honest,
yeah.
Sorry.
Sounds good.
Hey, I need to jump off, but I'll try to come back on a little bit and say hi. But
Carol or Heather, if you want to hop on, feel free to.
Thank you, everybody. Okay, bye.
I would say on a serious note, the only thing that I really got out of all those pictures, and I think Jason actually said it first, was we really need to take more selfies with our significant others, because like all of your pictures were selfies, and we were just like, this is so awesome, like just to have that catalog of like, hey, we were here, hey, we were here, hey, we were on our couch that one day.
We ate at this restaurant. Look, we ate at this restaurant. Hey, look, we're eating at that restaurant again.
There's a reason. So Facebook shows you all these memories and everything, and then you start looking for stuff. When you're thinking about things and you're like, I don't have a very good memory. So if I want to remember what happened, I look on Facebook or I look at my pictures. And we had, like I said, we've always been on the broke side of broke. Sometimes we just didn't even have a camera. I have some film that's not even developed. I don't even know what it is. But when I got my iPhone in like 2010, or 11, I was like, that's it, Willard, because there was all these holidays where there's no pictures. And it's like, when you go back and you're looking for that and the pictures don't exist, it feels like your life didn't exist. And all of those pictures were taken under protest. I said, no, we're taking a picture. Smile and look happy. Are you ready? Like, it was like that. He goes, I don't want to take a picture. I'm not doing it. I go, I don't care. I'm not ever doing it. We don't know. I want pictures, and we're going to have these pictures. Damn it. So just smile. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Ready? Like, it was that. We were literally arguing about, okay, smile.
I don't want to smile. Leave me alone.
And so you could see some of them. He's like one of the ones on Point Loma, he's like, nah. And I'm like, I insisted, and every single one was under protest, every single one. But I am so glad I did, because now I have those. I have that.
And that's what
memory,
Roy and I were totally saying. We were like, oh yeah, we need to do better. we're not doing enough here. We need to do better. I'm putting a couple of the gems in the chat here of some of the things that were said during the process of building this thing around 9:30 at night. It's just like we're just giving each other a hard time.
We have some progress, but there's some limitations. That's so bad. Limitations to the layout of this theme I'm not so happy with. Didn't want to have to child theme this thing. You are dying to child theme that. I know you. Matt, 2016. Oh my gosh, somebody said pop. The wow factor.
And I told them they need to make sure it's robust.
You guys were having scope creep.
We were. I was definitely wanting to make sure that
robust. Not so robust.
It was fun stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess if we were to do this again, the main thing is trying to find the closest people to that person that you know, and really try to make this happen. So what's funny is at the end of this entire thing, we launched this thing. There's money's happening, all this stuff is happening, and we're like, oh, good, we got this thing actually working. And I'm like, this is great for like the WordPress community, but like we haven't touched anybody outside of our community. We need to make this happen. So, me working at a church, I know that churches are churches and they want to help out and they want to do all this stuff. And they probably hear about it the second that everyone else hears about it, because that's how churches work. One person hears it and it just instantly spreads. Yep. So I'm like, these people already have started figuring it out. They're probably already building some kind of GoFundMe page or some whatever page. I just need to get a hold of these folks. And so, I sent... It was hilarious because I'm doing this, and you're going to have to correct me if this is what happened or not. I go and send something to their Facebook group, their Facebook page, right? And I go, yeah.
Oh, for my
and I
church?
go, hey, so here's all the things that we're doing, blah, 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 blah. And I wrote like a paragraph, right? And I hit send, and then I go, I hope I just didn't send that to Bridget.
Oh, that's why Jen Miller asked me if I was doing the Facebook
because
it's
like this is after the fact. This is already, you're getting notifications and PayPals, all this stuff's happening and stuff. But I send it to your church, and then I'm like, oh crap! I hope she's not the social media person for their Facebook thing. And
I thought that was a weird question.
Well, she was digging. This is, I wasn't going to ask you, but because I was too busy just trying to contact everybody. So I did that, and then I sent an email to them and just kind of listed out everything and said, I work at this church. Here's what we're doing. She's my friend. I just want to make sure we're not doing any duplicate efforts here. Here's what I got. What are you guys going to do with it? And if you guys want to add anything to this thing, feel free. And that's kind of the thing you have to do when you're building these types of things, is you got to get all the people involved. And we just don't know all the people. And so because you don't know all the people, you need to do whatever you can to get out there and get that information out there so that other people are able to see it. So thank you for not being the person that was. I
was the person, but I was like helping a bunch of my friends, like you guys do probably with.
But
WordPress
I didn't send
sites.
you a message, did I?
Go, you know what? I'm not doing this. No, because I gave it up a long time ago, like 4 years ago. No, I'm not doing this for free anymore. I'm done. Sorry. I was doing like 7 different accounts for free for like 3 years.
Well, whoever the person that was doing it was very kind and was like, "Oh, thank you for doing this. I appreciate it. We'll make sure we get the word out on our end." And I was like, "Okay, good."
Yeah, because my pastor called me and goes, do you know who these people are? I'm like, yeah, those are my people.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really hard to put into words. It's just you guys gave me a lot more time, and that was the other thing, is because I told you Mercier is literally a genius, photographic memory genius. Okay, so I can't open up the checkbook register and tell you how much money is in it, because he doesn't do that. Okay, so I did accounts payable and accounts receivable for 9 years. I could tell you at any given time how much money was in the bank. did it on Excel, and we had QuickBooks, and we had a proprietary system. I could tell you three different ways exactly how much money's in the bank, right? So I was like, oh my God, it's going to take me three hours to figure out, because I'm going to have to reconcile the whole thing. I'm going to have to do it by scratch. Got to get a Google sheet going, and you have to get the cremation going so you can get the death certificates. You need the death certificates to go on to the next thing. Like, it's the first thing you have to do. Whoever just died, you have to go prepare whatever funeral or whatever.
And this is the reason why.
Whether it's burial or cremation, you have to do that.
And this is the exact reason why, because see, this is when you know the closest the person that that has passed away in my life. The most recent was my grandmother, and so I was like, well, the way I got to do this is this thing needs to happen like immediately, because if it doesn't happen immediately, we're gonna have a lot of issues. Because for my grandmother, she already had everything prepaid. She's like, this is how I'm going to have this. This is what's going to happen. Here's where I get buried. Here's where I'm going to do this. Here's where I do that. Here's where I do. And she had everything we just showed up and we're like, oh, okay, everything's done. And like the cogs and the wheels were already set up and everything was in motion, and it just it worked its way out. And so me not knowing how your situation was, I was like, think of the worst. We got one time to do this. Everybody, let's get together and knock this out. And I'm saying we, me. It's all of us, but it's like, we just need to make this happen.
Yeah, I know it's not the royal we. Like,
all this just needed to happen like immediately, because you wait too long, and what ends up happening is you're like, I have this expense, I have that expense, I have these types of things that are going on. I don't know what I'm going to do here. I don't know if whatever's behind you is a mansion and you live in this huge house. I have no idea. How would I know, right? How would I know? And so I was like,
because you only see the square.
I know you have 2 rooms because I've seen both of them. So it was like, okay, so we just got to make this. We just got to make this happen quick. And so we made it happen quick. And by the time you woke up in the morning, things were already happening. And
and that was huge, you guys. I mean, huge. Who just lost its meaning since Trump ran for president, but. I like self-editing every time I see that, but it was a pivotal thing, and I just like, I don't have a big enough thesaurus in my head to figure the exact word that would be appropriate, and because that's what you gave me time. I still need to reconcile it. Still I gotta jive everything out. That's what the problem is. He did it all manually in his brain, and I don't work like that. I have to have things written down. I have to be able to touch it. That means I got to do, in the last 2 days, I did the cremation. I called the hospital to tell them who's going to pick the body up. And then I was able to call his dialysis center so I could schedule to pick up all that stuff, and that equipment is very expensive. And I don't want Medicare coming after me. And so like I had no money for any of that. And then all of a sudden I'm like, now I have to plan a funeral or whatever celebration of life. I always call it a funeral. And then I'm like, how's that going to happen? And so I figured I had to do the same thing. What you guys did for me inspired me to do that for everybody else. So I just said, okay, we're going to do it on this. My pastor offered this date. We're not going to have church. We're just going to have a service.
And that's what a lot of folks were asking me, because they're like, you work at a church? How does this work? And I'm like, I work at a way bigger church than what Bridget works at. So I can give you enough idea.
20 people, it's a revival. It's a super small church. It's in a gym at an old school that's been converted to a community center. It's surrounded by senior housing. So it meets a need. We have a lot of older. I'm the youngest person at 43 in that church.
Yep.
So so he said that, and I go, you know what? Monsieur doesn't like a lot of flash. He didn't like hype. He wouldn't let me give him a 75th birthday party. he's not going to want some big thing at some amazing place with some light
Right.
show thing and slideshows, and that's not him. That's not him at all. So I said, okay, let's do it. I found out when his kids were going to be back in the country. And then I said, okay, let's do it on the 12th. Can you do it on the 12th? Then I was doing what you were doing. I was texting all my people, can you do this? Can Chris Folsom do the music? Can you do it on this date? Are you busy on it? Okay. And then I went, this song, this person's going to talk, this person's going to talk. You're doing the eulogy. Here's his family time, 30 minutes, 5 minutes doing it. I just totally planned the whole thing, put it in a Google Doc, emailed it to everybody, gave me the graphic. I go, we're going to run with this. Because then the people who say, how can we help, now have the infrastructure to help. You want to help? Show up at 9:30 and help us put out every single chair we own. Like that. Right. You want to help? Bring cupcakes or whatever. Like they're going to do all the food and blah, 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 whatever. But you have to put that in place. And I feel like that's the moral to the story, more than just help Bridget, who's, so Roy's asking what the donations are going to help with.
Well, you went through some of that, right?
Okay. Yeah, obviously some of those expenses, and I'm going to make the brochures. I have a good enough printer. I got ink, I ordered some more ink and 24-pound paper. My sister said, let Kinko's do it. I'm like, I did this for a living. I can fold those all day long. I can make it better. And I wouldn't trust somebody to make something two-sided that folds because they always do it backwards. That would just make me so mad. Like maybe with your website stuff, like this was my trade. I could do this super easy. And I'm going to print out some pictures. I have like photo paper, like his childhood pictures. I'm going to get some frames on Amazon and just put them around for decorations because everybody's allergic to flowers. No, in our family, there's just not, it's not going to be good. And so instead of a slideshow, I'll have pictures around, like that will be the decoration that people can move around and see the pictures, and that'll be good for the family because nothing's printed out anymore. Everything's on Facebook, but not everybody's on Facebook, and not everybody lives on Facebook.
Yeah, your
congregants
like I do. Are definitely not on Facebook.
And so, no, they're going to want to see that. They're going to want to see the picture of him that looks like from the Dust Bowl in 1940 something. It's so cute. He's got his little overalls on because he was born in 1937 before TV. Yeah. No TV. Like we used to talk about how his dad went from a horse and buggy to a man going on the moon. I mean, talk about a technology jump in your lifetime. So the other thing I might as well just say is I didn't realize I wouldn't get survivor benefits. I would not get his Social Security that he was on. I am too young. So you guys bought me some time to figure out if I can live here in this apartment. I think I've got some room to be creative and sort of figure some things out, but I panicked when I talked to Social Security yesterday. I totally had a mental breakdown. I called my mom. She's like, come live with us in Oregon. Can't you just work on the computer? And so this is the only reason why I'm telling you guys, like I really decided I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want you guys to like really worry about me or anything. But this, again, it goes back to community. I said, Mom, I love you. And, my dogs will eat your cats, literally. But she sent me a key and everything. And she's like, you can come here anytime you want. I'll even let you put your desk in my craft room.
That's
and I'm
cute.
like, what about all your glitter, Mom? And I just said, Mom, all of the social infrastructure that I need to get through this next year, which is going to be really hard. Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, his birthday. I mean, today's our 23rd wedding anniversary.
Yeah. I know.
All of the social infrastructure, my friends, my work, which is awesome, my new WordPress meetup that I go to, the regular WordPress meetup I go to, the study that I go to, all of the friends that I have, half of his family, they're here. I need to be here. I need to be here. I cannot move away. I cannot just go live in Oregon. It's not, it would be so much harder. I would have nobody to support me. I know nobody in Grants Pass. You know, it's just, I just got the most amazing job of my whole life. I think I'm doing a good job. I feel like really part of something, and I just do not want to leave this. I have lived in Dana Point for 16 years. I lived in this building for 16 years. This is the longest I've lived anywhere in my whole life. Whole life. And that, you guys gave me some time, maybe the whole summer, I think. I didn't even check today. I got so overwhelmed because I realized Mercier has his like little basket of bills, and he's so organized. He'll write like mail June 2, like that. And I went and I go, holy crap, I got to pay bills. So I made a bunch of checks, did my absentee ballot, took a shower, went to the mailbox. You know, like I would, because he would be super pissed if things were late. You know, like that's, I just have, there's so much of him is in me because I've spent my entire, I was 20 when I got married. I spent my entire adult life with him. And it's, some of the nights are hard. And I woke up this morning and it hits you and you can't breathe. The grief hits you and you can't breathe. And you cry for a while and you're like, okay. And my mom called and she said, Bridget, just make coffee. Don't even think past making coffee. And then when you're done doing that, take your dogs out. Like, I really feel like my dogs are going to help me because they are so routine. I'm routine. I need structure, you know? And when you were asking me, when you and Heather were like, maybe you should do Blab today. And I thought, I don't know. It's only been like 48 hours.
Right,
you know?
right.
And my mom was like, that is totally not appropriate. And I thought, yeah, but you're right. I am a routine-oriented person. I am a task-oriented person.
Yeah.
And the routine is going to help me move through time. Jen was like, what about Women Who WP? Should we cancel it? Because it's the 15th. Right. I said, there's like 14 of us. If I can't be in a room with 14 of my closest friends, I'm not going to be able to go to church.
Right. It's true.
I'm not, what am I going to do? Just stay in my house all day? I work at home. I said all of these things will be baby steps, you know, because I mean, I'll just be honest. Last night I went to the grocery store because I was out of creamer, and that just can't happen. I have to have coffee, and it has to have creamer. And so I was just get some stuff and then frozen out or whatever. And I walked by the steamers. That's what he likes, the Healthy Choice steamers. And I just felt like my breath, it was so like ridiculous. Like, it's the frozen food aisle. Get a grip on your life, you know? Like, half of me is like, oh man, she's losing her shit in Browse. And so I just like, okay, I'm just going to go. That's not the coffee aisle anyway. I'm just going to go and get the coffee. And I got in my car and I drove and I parked, and then I totally broke down. So like the grief, I've heard people describe it, but nobody in my family has died yet. So I did not.
Right. I'm talking. I have it muted. My son moved away, and I'm still buying 2 pizzas.
Aww.
It's the 3 of us. The 3 of us live here. It's like, you know, my wife and my daughter, and I come home with 2 pizzas, and like, who else did you invite? Like, crap. Chris is like 6,500 miles away from here. Not Chris. Call Caitlin. Have her show up. Call the other kid. Get her to show up. She needs to eat some of this. It's that sort of thing. So you're going to have this happen all the time, and it's going to be where he is just going to keep popping into your life because he's still in your life. Yeah. That's it.
He's always going to be part of my life. And I kept thinking of the things that he would say. And he would tell me, and this is why I said, oh, you're right, I should care. he said he would tell me, the way through is forward.
Hmm.
You have to go forward.
Yep.
What am I going to do? Not go to work because I don't want to cry in front of Devin? I mean, you know what I mean? You can't just protect yourself from everything. You have to go forward. You have to. And then whatever it hits, you just have to let it go. And I've realized, and this has helped teach me, because I'm independent, I'm prideful, I like to be open, but I'm selectively vulnerable.
Yeah,
if that
no,
makes any sense.
That makes perfect sense.
And I was just like, oh my God, I'm the most pathetic person that ever lived, who didn't think about buying life insurance because she doesn't have a mortgage and a kid's going to college. Why would I need life insurance? I've got Social Security. Why would I need life insurance? Like, oh my God, right?
Yeah.
And, all these things, and you start to feel like you're just this horrible, irresponsible, pathetic person. But what I've learned is, you know what? There's been a few people like Jen Miller who've just been calling me.
Mm-hmm.
And Kathy Klingeman from SMMOC, she just sent me a message. She said, I'm going to just leave this at your door. I'm just going to bring you some food and leave it at your door. And so I heard her knock, and of course, Sully went, "Arr!" And she's like, be afraid, be very afraid. And she just said, I don't want to intrude. I just brought you some rigatoni and some brownies and some bread. And I was just like, oh my, I was so speechless.
Damn you, social networking.
I know, right? Like, you mean you actually make friends?
Right.
You mean you actually have relationships with people? And I realized you have to let people in.
Yeah.
You cannot self-isolate. That's why when I'm talking about it, I'm talking about myself.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
You can't self-isolate either.
Yep.
You have to let people help you.
Well, that's because these people could have also had this exact same type of thing happen to them, and they're looking at it thinking, "Oh crap! I remember when all this happened to me, or my best friend, or my cousin, or my whoever. I feel like I need to do something, and everyone wants to do something." And allow them. I mean, that's what's going to be, and it's going to suck because you're going to keep getting an email from PayPal. That's just
it's okay. I have like 1,000 emails from PayPal. But the thing is,
and you're also going to get those emails from people that are going to be like, "Hey, this happened to me. I totally get it. This other thing happened to me. I got it. My husband went off to war. He never came back. This person went to the grocery store and never came back. This person did this and this never happened." You're going to get tons of those. And a lot of it. I've
gotten so many. It's really, Karen was saying in the comments that sharing is healing and it helps us all heal. And I feel like me being open and people just opening up to me has been so helpful. I mean, like I said, he was a children's pastor for a long time. And we, for the last 15 years, have been ministering in Anaheim to the transitionally homeless. And these are the people that live in motels.
Yep.
And they're either on their way down to the street or they're on their way back up. Yeah. And this one kid, James, we've known him since he was 4 years old. Dad in prison, mom in and out of jail for drugs and prostitution his whole life. And we used to teach the kids, and Rasir would just tell the stories. And he shared yesterday on Facebook, he's like 14 or 15 years old now, 16 probably, I lose track, but he said that he just remembered Pastor Rasir telling all those stories, and he wants to be a great man like Rasir. And then I realized the grief isn't mine alone. Yep. I don't need to be greedy with my grief and to let other people tell their stories, and then to turn back and say, James, he was so proud of who you are. We enjoyed knowing you, and just giving the love back to them has helped me feel like, yeah, I have a void, but I also feel full.
Yeah.
And you guys have helped me feel full instead of feeling empty, because like I said, there are no children, and there is, you don't have, the children make the family feel like a real structure. And then, I mean, I had a couple of people say, "You're gonna get married again? Are you serious right now?
Like, are we worried about this right this second?"
Like there's a huge queue. What, like some people are so weird. My sister-in-law, though, she lost her husband and she never married again. She goes, "You need to get married again." I'm like, seriously? It's been 2 hours, right? Like, just let's cool your jets here. I just want to make it through this year. Right?
Let's go to the hospital cafe and we'll just go walk around a little bit.
Hey, you come here often?
Hey, you look able-bodied. How's it going?
It sure looks pretty good. It's so ridiculous. Like,
that's crazy. Yeah,
that's the only thing that's been crazy, and I just laughed it off, right? Because that's so stupid.
Right.
But just letting people tell their stories and realizing that everybody, like I was saying in the comments, everybody grieves differently. Yeah. They grieve in their own way, and they grieve in their own time.
Yep.
And for me, this. You're right. This is so me. Why wouldn't I be on Blab? Why wouldn't I be telling you? If I wasn't here, I'd be on Facebook doing the same exact thing. All this is doing is keeping me off Facebook for 2 hours.
Yeah. Well, it was like think of it the other way around. So I don't remember the exact time or anything like that, or what day it was. But you hit me up and said, "Oh, hey, by the way, I'm not going to be able to make Blab on Thursday." And I'm like, "You're probably at the hospital right now." Like,
I thought I was going to be at the hospital right now.
Obviously, I was just like, obviously you're not going to. We can reconvene later, but obviously, we don't need to discuss this right now. It's kind of a given,
Responsible.
It's like, I know, but it was like almost to your detriment, because I was just like, really, we're worried about this? Like, how about the thing that's happening right in front of you right now? Like,
I had a social media presentation on Thursday that I canceled too. Oh. Like, just that's not happening.
Yeah.
Not going down to wherever 7:00 in the morning.
Oh, but it was just funny, because I'm just like, really, like, we're having this type of conversation right now. All right.
Because I just started thinking, oh man, he's not coming home that fast. I'm gonna have to just cancel stuff.
Yeah. No, you're responsible. And, he's happy that you're responsible about it. He's probably rolling his eyes too, going, geez, come on.
Yeah, that kind of lucked out, because most of the time, a lot of wives don't know passwords and stuff, but I'm the one that knows all the passwords.
Right.
One of the things that's might be important for other people to know is, and I need to choose one, is Facebook has a legacy contact. You can choose who you want to have control over your Facebook if you do die. Because people can request that it's memorialized, but they can't make changes unless they're the legacy contact. So, of course, and
you were his social media liaison, right? You were the one doing all of that stuff, right?
No, he does his own.
Oh, okay. Well, I
taught him how to do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like he's Safari and I'm Chrome. So I just open up Safari. It's easier. Then you let those people. You let the browsers remember. That's what I do. And then I don't have to be signing in, signing out. It's such a pain. And if you can't do the stuff, he said the computer doesn't work. He was like the support people all you guys don't like. He would call me up at my other job and go, somebody's trying to get into the computer. I'm like, what do you mean? There's a thing. It says they're trying to get in. I said, stop clicking on things on the right. Don't click on anything on the right. What's happening? It's an ad. I go, that's all spam. Don't click on anything. He goes, somebody's trying to get into the computer. It was Bulldog backup. They just wanted the password.
Right.
No. So I just set things up so that it just opened, like he could just open Safari. It automatically went to Netflix.
Yeah.
And then he could press Facebook and it was already signed in. So I just went in, made myself legacy contact, opened up Chrome, went on his, requested memorialization, you know. So things like that you can do. And because when I think it was 2009, there was a guy that I followed. It was a really small community in construction. That's why I knew these girls. Pam worked at ET Plastics. Heather worked at Unitherm. And Carol worked at San Jose Plumber. And all these girls I knew in construction. And that's why I said I knew the community before I knew the software.
Yeah.
On Twitter. And we were all doing construction. I was the last person to get a real job or not start a business of our group of like 14 girls. And so there was this one guy, though. His name was Imad Nafa. And he was really big in construction in the Central Valley. And he died. And it was horrible to see that on Facebook. But not what was worse, which is probably why now you understand why I'm not so hot about animation. I mean, automation.
Yeah.
He had a software going in or some kind of script or something that would automatically tweet things based on keywords.
Oh, jeez.
And his account was tweeting for months, and his wife did not know how to turn it off.
Oh my gosh.
That's why I never schedule past today. That's why I do that. If anybody ever wonders why, that's why I never schedule past today. The only thing I scheduled super far out in time was WordCamp San Diego. But WordCamp San Diego isn't going to die, right? It's not a person.
Wow. Well, now, so by doing that, now you have a remembering, and you're able to kind of see that off of his page. So that's cool. Yeah,
it's good to memorialize your Facebook thing, and and it really helped too. The other thing that your site helped, that you guys built for me, is when you memorialize a Facebook account, it asks you for the URL to the obituary.
Oh. Huh.
Which I didn't even bother writing now because you guys made me a website.
Nice.
So I just put in willardfund.org, and then it was memorialized in less than an hour.
Very cool. Huh.
So that's a little tidbit of information.
Yeah.
I think like taking it up from the Bridget show, it would be cool if there was, and I know I might get some tomatoes thrown at me, but it would be cool if there was something like this that could be replicated. Like a Slack channel for other people that, where we could just, like, how, like some kind of GitHub instructions, like what did we learn from this?
Right. Oh, like a white paper.
Yeah, so how could somebody else do this?
Right.
What did we do? We stocked a thing. One person did photos. One person did the content. One person did the theme. One person did whatever, like that. And like just setting that up, like so another group could do it. God forbid it happened, but it's going to, because this is life.
Yep.
This is part of life. So don't get Matt and Davino together. That's funny, Roy. But I mean, maybe that's really what happens. Obviously, you guys helped me. I'm beyond words. But what if we now, all of us, made this something that the rest of the WordPress community could replicate easily?
Yeah. It's kind of like it's almost like an instruction manual of. It's kind of like the what to expect when you're expecting type of book type of thing, but the opposite,
I think that would be the bigger picture fruit of the amazing effort of my personal coral reef.
Yeah. I like that idea. now we just got to figure out how to build that thing out and get it so that you just go, oh, and everything just kind of happens.
mean, you knew what you did. So the step one is what you just said. Find the person closest to them.
Yeah.
Like everything that we've discussed, you've already laid the whole plan out. But it's just writing out, what did you do? You find the person that's closest to them. You know, stalk their social media. You know, and then build a theme or whatever. Use GIF, obviously, or whatever. Like, and then the division of labor. You know, because you probably don't need 10 people, but you probably need at least those people: the theme person, the content person, the photos person, and the research person. You probably need a team of 4 at least. And then what you said, find out if they go to any kind of religious affiliation. Is, you know, because every religion has their own kind of
method in which you go about it.
Yeah.
Well,
you know, like
that you went to a gym.
Have,
let's take the religious part out of it. Let's say you just go to a gym. You're a huge gym person. You just go to the gym all the time. I'd just be like, okay, we're going to CrossFit. Let's go find the CrossFit place. Let's go find the guy who's the coach. Let's go find the guy who's the whatever. Blast them out some messages and say, hey, here's what we got going on. What do we got to do? And then they get their 300 people that go to that gym, who every single one of them has probably talked to you. And then you're like, fine, let's go. Let's get it all going. And it could be anything. They could go, you know, it's like just like you're saying, you're like women's groups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't even get into that part of it yet. I could have been like, hey, so, you know, what was Bridget involved in? Because at this point, it's not about him. It's about you. It's like, you know what I mean? Because it's like we need to kind of transfer this over a little bit. It's more about you at this point. You're the resource. You're the person that needs to be kind of supported. So it's like, how do we get this going? Or let's say that you're already supported and everything's fine. It's like, okay, well, how do I get all this stuff going? You know, how do you?
Yeah, but I mean, you guys did it, and so that my closer people now. I mean, obviously, you guys know more than anybody else because I'm telling you. But I mean, the people you would normally think, you made a way for them to be participating, right? From people I haven't heard from in 15 years or 20 years. I'm seeing names of people I haven't seen in 20 years, you guys.
Yep.
So, because, you know, people move. That's just what happens. That's life. And so it's so important to be part. That's what I was saying. Like, the WordPress community can be this atmosphere that holds the oxygen in, but then there's the hyper local community, and that's what I'm saying. My Women Who WP is my hyper local. There's 15 of us, and those are the people that I can touch. You know, they're the people that are going to look in my face, and so that might be your CrossFit. Or that might be like Suzette was saying, she goes to a knitting club. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be a WordPress meet. It could be anything.
Right.
But it's so important to be part of an actual community. You know, an actual local group of people who will look you in the face and tell you that they love you. And I mean, not just for some horrific death or tragedy, but just so that you don't feel alone. The line of work that we're in, because there's so many remote workers, is a predisposition to isolation. Yeah. And so I feel like there's that's why I was saying that it's so, I'm seeing this, that there needs to be that interaction, that personal interaction. And this, for some people, it might just be this, but this is still amazing because as humans, we can connect with words, with the written word, and I have. But when you see people's faces and you hear their voices, it is on a deeper level, even if the words are fewer. Because that's how human beings connect. End of story.
Yeah.
You know? So the moral to the story is be part of a community, let them help you, build an infrastructure so we can replicate, just like with your campaign about filming the meetups and broadcasting the meetups. So that's what's so great about open source. And what I'm finding is something happens, somebody builds something, and then that can be replicated and improved on, and iterations can happen, and pull requests or whatever you guys call them. And then all of a sudden it becomes something bigger, something more than just what it started as. And that's, that's so amazing. That's why when you're talking to the women who WordPress, you were saying, what do you guys want to do? And we're like, we want to help.
Right.
We want to help other women. Why aren't there more women speakers at WordCamps? I don't think it's because they're not selected. I think that we self-deselect because you can't afford to travel. That's my personal theory.
Yeah.
Because women will say, oh, I don't need to do that. A man will say, this is part of my business. It's sort of in our DNA. And I think that a lot of women don't apply to speak because they just they self-deselect.
Yeah, and there was a fund by for Kim Parcell when she passed away.
Oh right, WPblab.
Yep. So I'll put that in the notes here so you guys can take a look at that. But she was the one that they built the fund up so that way they could pay for women that wanted to go to WordCamps and wanted to speak and wanted to do all this stuff, and that was the way to do it. Yeah,
it's just that, and so you don't know those things if you're not part of the community. You don't know those things if you don't open up to the community. You can't just be in the same room. That's really the bottom line, isn't it? In order to be part of the community, you have to open yourself to the community.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm still learning. And not just, in a weird cult way, but I'm just saying that's how humans are.
Yeah.
Nobody can help you if they don't tell you. You can't say nobody came when I was in the hospital, or nobody helped me when I did this, or nobody helped me. Did you tell anybody?
Right.
Because I've been in ministry for a long time, and women will do that. Well, you didn't know that I wasn't there, and you didn't help me when I was I had a C-section. Did you tell anybody? Did you tell anybody you had a C-section and nobody was around or whatever? You didn't say it. Nobody can help you if they don't know what's going on. So you have to almost give a credit line of trust.
Yep.
In order to start that relationship, you have to open yourself up. You have to be vulnerable, because in order to be strong, you have to be vulnerable. And that's the last 2 hours in one sentence.
Exactly. I think we should wrap up. How about that? You want to make it happen?
I've only got 4 hours of sleep, and I love you guys, and I wish that I could say something more amazing, but I think that I'm overwhelmed by the love, and I didn't know you guys even cared about me that much. People were making comments. I didn't even know I was on their radar. They're like, "You're so nice to me," and I'm like, "Why wouldn't I be nice to you? Like, why is that so remarkable?"
Exactly.
It doesn't make any sense. But I didn't realize that I had touched so many people. They're writing me these comments, and they're coming out of left field, way left field. I'm like, what? Really?
Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem with the medium that we've built. The medium that we've chose to do this on is that these people are hearing this stuff in their ears, and they're seeing us on the screen. They're going to events and seeing you there. You're the one interacting with the speaker. You're the one interacting with the people that are around you. They may not be talking to you directly, but at some point you're probably saying some type of question that they're not strong enough, or they don't feel that they're going to ask it the right way, and you go and ask it because you're the every person, just like everybody else that's in that room, but you're the one that's willing to speak about it. And so they go, you know what? You said exactly what I was going to say. Awesome. I didn't have to say it. It's those types of things. So I want to wrap up here by saying, make sure you go over to willardfund.org. Go check it out. You don't have to do anything. I don't want you to click the donate button unless you absolutely feel that you need to. I would definitely and highly recommend that you go and click on the Leave Bridget a Note button and leave Bridget a note. Just tell her what's going on in your life. Tell her what happened. If you had something that like this that happened, or you know somebody that had these types of things, tell us about it, especially now that Bridget's trying to get me to work on another project. So
you did it already.
I know. But what I'm saying is that,
Just copy and
I want
paste.
to. We need more. We need to fuel this fire some more, and we need to have more of this. So go check it out. Go check out Bridget's husband and his story and the stuff that we put on there, all the photos that we found and everything. Go check that stuff out, and then look at the people that went through and donated and helped out. And a lot of these people aren't WordPress community people. There's people that are just like out of the woodwork. They're like, you know what, that happened to me too, or oh, I feel that this needs to be happen. This needs to happen, and they gave, or they went and left a message or something like that. So go check those things out. This is literally like a one pager with a little like extra page that just has a comment box where people went and left notes. And they're the ones that went and put all this stuff in there. So definitely go read through those and check it out. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Folks, you have a good rest of your day. Click on all the links on the website and do all the things in the websites. See you later. Bye-bye.